All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I'm your host, Larry, and I'm back for Larry Does Ludum 36. We're taking a look at Ludum Dare number 36, the Game Jam number 36, and this version's theme is ancient technology. All the crazy indie developers from all over the world have had to decide how they are going to incorporate ancient primordial technology into their games. And, you know, as Chupacabra, that's kind of something that I'm rather familiar with. I mean, besides, you know, the murdering of the sheep and the drinking of the blood, like, if you want to defend your evil lair in the woods, you gotta use the old school technology like rocks, bows and arrows, that guy Ted who just has a sharp rock that he jabs people with, and Ford trucks. And today we're going to take a look at the first three people that I grabbed off of my list of fantastic entries, and already they have picked the most unexpected ways that I never suspected they would handle the concept of ancient technology, and the first one is the Museum by the Rhythmic Lynx. I'm assuming it's a beatboxing animal that lives just up the road at the mountain down the trail across the valley. I always hear strange beats coming from over there, and this is the guy. And the Rhythm Lynx has created the museum, and it's our first day on the job at the museum. Unfortunately, while our boss has sent us a message, he's like, "Hey, kiddo, I know it's your first day, Larry, but I'm sick, so you gotta take care of the tours, man. Like, people paid decent money, like passable money, to the lady at the ticket counter when she wasn't asleep. And, well, you're just gonna have to do that, champ." And I'm just like, well, yes, sure, I guess. And our job is we need to explain 6 of the exhibits and completely make shit up off the top of our head and make people come back and pay more money to hear of our fantastic tales of ancient technology. So let's get started in our lovely 8-bit world. So we have some little random exhibits here, and I think they change location each time. And I've got this pack of what looks like gremlins from the Space Invaders universe, and I need to tell them about history. So let's start out with something that the young people can recognize. Yes, a floppy disk. So now it's time for something really ancient, kids, a floppy disk. And it was at first used for, well, cup coasters for nerds in college when they were getting ready to go out to their sweet parties, and they didn't want to leave a stain on the counter. And then they were mainly used then by super elite hackzors. They'd like hack into the Pentagon and send off missiles, probably to Canada, to attack the maple syrup silos. And they were later popularized as frisbees for ultimate murder frisbee golf, which it's kind of like regular murder frisbee golf, but there's a lot more posters of Matthew McConaughey. I don't really understand why. And each could literally hold dozens of probably pictures. Yeah, let's go with pictures. And they would combine several discs. You could even make your own desk stay level. Actually, that's probably what I would use it for. So that's our first exhibit down. Although the game has a little bit of an opinion when I want to use my arrow keys. So let's see. Let's talk about Bob Ross. This is clearly a Bob Ross exhibit. It's a paint palette, and there's no other painter nearly as cool as Bob Ross. And, well, this, ladies and gentlemen, it's just, well, it's a paint palette. It's what you could use to paint dinosaurs. And the kids are like, "Ooh, dinosaurs. I like the Stegosaurus." If you ride him, your butt gets poked, but, you know. And you could paint dinosaurs or your emotions if you're one of those edgelords from the high schools. And you could also, I don't know, paint rivers, because they love river dancing in, was it Ireland or Scotland? And this is probably the palette used by Van Gogh. You guys like the Gogurts, don't you? Of course. And his most popular painting was, I don't know, The Astronomer. Sure. And the kids are like, "Wow, that sounds like words." And it was created in a hurry. Personally, I like to paint with my fingers. I just like to flip people the bird, and there might be finger paints on it. Sometimes it's really hard to say. And so right off the bat, like, this is kind of an amusing game in that kind of way that some of the weird interactions you could run into games like Papers, Please could be, where you'd kind of make your own narrative in the world as you go along. And I think you could actually, like, make, like, a Night at the Museum type of game like this. Like, not with all the exhibits coming to life, necessarily, but it's like you lied on your resume and you said you were formerly a museum curator in Chicago, and the Met has just hired you, or the Getty Museum has just hired you, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and inexplicably, anybody who would have to supervise you is just gone. Like, they're not available for comment, and you just have to bullshit your way through with semi-funny, like, pun answers for different jobs, but also, like, semi-believable at the same time. You have to bullshit your way through this museum and become the head of the department or something. And then you'd have to, like, go through crazy, like, almost James Bond-esque missions to, like, stealth through the museum at night and, like, lie to the security guard in order to, like, falsify historic records in the archives to back up your bullshit. And I think, like, that combination or something like that would be amazing for a game like this. And you wouldn't even need to go crazy with the graphics or anything. You would just need to write a compelling little story in order to really sell the whole effect. Oh, I guess that's the end of this tour. I have managed to bullshit my way through. So how are you supposed to do it 6 out of 6? Like, I played this game and there's 4 exhibits. Do you just have to keep going until you get 6, or can you, like, go to the side rooms? I couldn't seem to do that originally. But I like this game. I feel like if you did something weird with, like, a story and some of the interactions, like, you literally have to bullshit your way through or else you get fired or something, like, that would be pretty entertaining. And you could almost make it like a procedural Papers, Please kind of thing where only small elements get added onto the gameplay, but, like, it doesn't get crazy different. Like, you don't go into, like, a first-person shooter all of a sudden, unless you want to make fun of first-person shooters. So very nice job, Rhythm Links. This is definitely the most academic, like, sort of slant that I could think of for ancient technology. All right, so the next entry into the ancient technology category is a jam entry, which is by Diptoman, Prangel, and Joel, and Diptoman, Lord of the Dippable Chips, has done the programming and design, Prangel did the art and design, and Joel did the audio. And 42 is an entry into the mystical side of ancient technology. It is a game where you have to match up the pathways that these swirling vortexes are going to travel in order to get them to, well, reach their eventual finish lines inside of these magical orb receptacles. I'm assuming we're powering an ancient Mayan temple for animal and people sacrifices. And if the human life essence doesn't get into, like, the doomsday crystal at the center, then Ranjal, the god of corn, will come down and unleash a popcorn doom upon the land. And people are depending on us, and we can't let that happen. So we get a number of different directional tools in order to send these spheres to the correct location. So right now, I have 3 spheres. I have 2 blue spheres, which one of them needs to reach here, and I have 1 red sphere, and the idea is I only have 1 receptacle, so I have 2 spheres that I need to murder for this one. So to do that, I'm going to send this sphere up. I'm going to send one of them into here, and if I set them off this way, the 2 spheres will cancel out, creating like a stone. It's kind of like water and fire mixed together to make stone, Minecraft style. And then it repels things. They kind of bounce off of them. And this is kind of one of those, like, energy flow, water flow type deals that you see pretty often in a lot of different games, especially as like mini hacking games. I remember BioShock, the originals, had a hacking game where you had to redirect, like, was it like energy or juice in order to bypass certain systems. So this one is pretty simple. The first couple of them are pretty simple. Eventually, you just have to start paying attention to the different number of spheres and where they're located in order to tell where you need to send them. So here, I just need to send these spheres up the sides. I don't even need them to go and interact with the middle spheres. And then the middle spheres can just like butt heads and kind of cancel each other out, if that makes any sense. And so far, I've liked this game. It kind of threw me for a little bit just because I hadn't played one of these in a while, but I like the idea of using like ancient mystical technology, if that makes sense to people. It's just something about that I really find appealing. Whereas, you know, depending on the game, like using like new modern technology in a game that seems magical kind of feels like a cop-out. Like if you're gonna have ancient machines, like I really love them to be magic, like they're powered on the blood of the innocents or something. Something along those lines. So let's see what these balls are gonna do. Alright, so I kind of horsed these up. These guys need to be removed. How many of these did I put in? I only put in like 2. So let's just start at the top here. I need to get the sides up to the top. That's basically it. So let's put these pipes up here so that they go directly up. And I need to put one here. And then I need to put one here. And then I'll put this here. And I'll put this... Oh, I can't do that. Well, I could do this. It's a little bit convoluted, the way that the direction system can work, but it kind of makes sense once you fiddle with it a little bit. And I think one of the feedbacks I'd have for Diptoman and crew is maybe introducing the game mechanics a little bit as you go, so that things sort of explain themselves as you go, with the different mechanics and how this symbol really means that, kind of like a logic gate in programming, like they come in, they go out one direction, but they can come in from any direction. And then you'd be able to then add in like an ancient mystical story and more mechanics as to like what you're doing and how it impacts the world. And then you'd have the basis for starting into a more dynamic game. And I've played some game. Ooh, what are these? These are like teleportation devices. You wizards, you. Alright, so let's put this here. How did I okay, I've got it. There we go. So I've got teleporters. And, oh, the red must be the exit. I must have horsed this up already. But yeah, once you've got those basic mechanics into the game, like directional stuff, then you can start to add story. And I've played a couple... Wait, what? What did I just do? I've played a couple of different games recently that their story revolved around setting traps inside of tombs. And I feel like with this game, this could be an ancient contraption that was designed to power a sacrifice engine to summon like an ancient powerful golem to fend off like foreign invaders or something. Either way, like the pieces are here. I feel like now you just need to do some stuff with them, with the things. And then you'll be good to go, because this could easily be a number of stories. Like you could be powering an ancient machine to escape a temple. You could be powering an ancient machine to kill people within the temple. Like maybe you're an ancient ghoul whose entire existence is just to make sure that people get murdered. I mean, sky's kind of the limit with that sort of a thing. It's completely up to you. And let's see. This is going to be a tricksy one. Well, kind of. Boy, there's 3 colors of portal here. Let's see. That there, I assume. I mean, there's 3 of each. There's like... Oh, so maybe like the color-coded things is portal to portal. That's probably... I'm probably complicating this. So, the yellow goes to there. Wait, where are all of my spheres? Hold on, I horsed this level up completely. So I have two exits. I have two red exits and two blue exits and none for red. So I need to deadhead one of the red orbs and one of the blue orbs, probably in the center here. So let's put a red sphere here, or a red portal here and a red thing here. And then that will take care of these two. And then I need to put a path here and here. And then I'll put a path here. And then, yeah, that should work. So we'll put this here. Does that work? No, that's too many of the things. Dang it. All right. So I have to trick this one into going somewhere else. Well, anyway, I thought this was a cool idea. I just felt like this game is kind of missing some stuff. It seems very plain. The graphics are okay. I mean, it's just hard to say because this is a game built mostly around mechanics and some sort of ancient mystical device. Or at least I feel like that's what you're going for. So it's a nice concept, but I feel like you need to add on some stuff to it. Like more mechanics, maybe some more graphics to kind of make the mechanics come to life more as a magical artifact. And you'd be good to go with a little bit of a story or something. Alright, the final entry for this episode of Larry Does Ludum is Orgog's Prison, which is made by Fib Pixelmonium, and it is a compo entry, and basically we are a cute little dwarf, and we have been captured by Orgog's cohorts of evil orcs. And I love the simplicity of this game. It's quite simple. You're a dwarf, you have a battle axe, you like to eat things to stay alive, smash, steal treasure, smash orc, smash orc, smash orc home. Pretty simple and straightforward. Alright, so here we are, inside of the ancient orky sort of prison complex. We've got ourselves an axe, and with it, we will then proceed to find our way out of this dungeon. Unfortunately, the girth of my dwarven body does not always work well with the doors around me. But this is probably the most pure idea that you have for ancient technology, which is, I'm a dwarf, I want to murder some orcs with the battle axe. I don't have a smartphone, or if I did, it would probably just have the battle axe app on it. And that's it. I just gotta kill these guys, I gotta escape. And there's really no bones, butts, or thighs about it. Also, there's these houses which torment my dreams. But it's a pretty simple game. Nothing really crazy to say about it. And I feel like this one is very... What do I feel like? It's very retro. I mean, obviously, it's low res. And it feels like there's a game I'm thinking of, what I played as a kid. That was a lot like this, but I can't really remember. But it's kind of like just a flat 2D gauntlet, honestly. Okay, I got nailed by one of the archers. And I feel like you could definitely make this into almost like a Dungeons and Dragons sort of game, where you've got to fight with your team of mercenaries through a gauntlet of murder. Of orcish murder. That's probably the best kind of murder. If you really had to go shopping around for murder, like go down to the T-Mobile murder store and be like, I need the green murder. It's the only murder for me, don't you know? Alright, this is actually something that gave me quite a bit of trouble the first time when I started to check the game out to be able to preview it. Don't murder me. Don't. Okay, I gotta kill these archers. Ah, shit. But it's very simplistic, and you could definitely just add a bunch of characters and stuff to give you, like, class options. Like, you've got a dungeon crawler all of a sudden that's very minimalist in its graphics, And then you could pick, like, the axe-chucking dwarf, who's kind of tanky and kind of meaty. And then you've also got, like, the mage, who can't take a hit, but can kind of teleport around a little bit and has a lot of short-range AoE effects. You got a whole bunch of options right there. And what games have I played recently that do that? Dungeon Souls definitely comes to mind. Heroes of Loot. Loot Banjos the Third. Loot Scoot Boogie, which some of these aren't real games, obviously. But, you know, I feel like you guys get the idea. Oh, did you not die, you little butt? No. Need to live. I want to live. I'm just gonna book it out of here. Come on. Gotta break the gate. I can break these cuffs if I try really hard and believe in myself, Batman. Dang it. Ah, almost. Yeah, one of the things I would definitely want if you improved this fib is I need, like, an aggro range where if I kill things fast enough, they just don't aggro immediately everything else in the room, because that room is ridiculous. Absolutely flippin' redonkulous. Also, like, hidden secrets would probably be good in this game, too. Like, magical elements, because you can't really be in a world with orcs without wizards and warlocks and the robot that looks an awful... Whoa, this is a different room. Okay. So this is a little bit randomly generated, is it? I didn't see that before. That's kind of cool. Well, that makes it a little bit easier for me if it changes a little bit each time. Ow. Come on, everyone line up. Everyone line up for the stabbing. Alright, there is like a range limit on this, unfortunately. Oh, come on. Why won't you love me, Orcish Prison? Well, I've managed to kill like 60 orcs before, but my trouble is these auto-spawners just kill me every single time. I'm just not used to running around with my arrow keys anymore. And maybe like the option to really dynamically shoot and scoot. Kind of like with Binding of Isaac, where the Binding of Isaac lets you use like the arrow keys to, or the WASD to move and like the arrow keys to shoot as you move. This might work. Oh, can I shoot arrows out of the sky? That is awesome if that's true. Come on, ask him a question, please. I'm dying. I need my organs. Need them inside me. Come on. Okay, I managed to get a hut before I died. But yeah, my biggest trouble with this is simply getting overwhelmed almost immediately. You gotta kind of like slowly ramp things up in the game. Slowly introduce the different mechanics. And also, maybe just offer a checkpoint system in games like this, because constantly restarting from spawn, it's kind of a pain. Like, this could definitely be a room-by-room basis to begin with, until you're kind of, like, out of the tutorial realm. And then you're on to, like, the full campaign, where it's like, here's a checkpoint every so many rooms. What else could you do with this game? It doesn't necessarily need to be, like, crazy graphically updated. I think what you've got right here is just fine. This is a game that can really be sold on the variety of enemies and the world that you live in, and maybe some of the story, as opposed to just the pure graphics and just the pure sort of effects that it gives you. Also, probably some different music would be cool. Just some ancient-y music. What else would be tasty? Probably like some different sound effects. The dwarf chucking sound and like the orc sound is kind of maddening after a bit. But it's certainly manageable. And maybe like some upgrade items. You could definitely mix and match with some different items that you could get to upgrade yourself. Although I don't necessarily always go crazy for some of the upgrades, because some of them are little min-maxian games that are dungeon crawlery, which is understandable, but at the same time, you know, it can also be a pain in the butt. Because then I'm not sure what to use this item, or when to use that item, and then I get confuzzled, and nobody wants that, because then I start mauling sheep, and it's crazy. But it's a good game concept. It's a solid foundation. You just kind of like add some cool features onto it, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to call it here for this episode of Larry Does Ludum. I've certainly enjoyed these games, and definitely the museum game and the magical flows of wizardry were not what I was expecting. So good stuff, everybody. Keep up the delicious work, and I will catch you guys and gals next time for some more adventures in the randomly selected Ludum Dare games from my little listy list of listiness. So yeah, toodles everybody, have a good one. Keep sending me these delicious games. The link is going to be in the description and also in the description for the post that'll appear on the ludumdare.com website. And I'll catch you guys and gals later. I am always just amazed, astounded, and humbled by all the amazing stuff all of you people can create. So keep up the good work, keep being crazy and awesome, and I'll catch you next time. Toodles everybody, and don't forget to like and subscribe.